Are you going to buy something such as Plex? Always enter code Aceface into the Creator Code tab here. This makes it so that 5% of the earnings go to me and doesn't cost you anything extra. I would appreciate it a lot. Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Here we are in the Aquarius region in EVE Online. It's the region of space Brave Collective owns in EVE Online. There are two regions actually, Delve and Aquarius. So Aquarius is one of them. It's a little bit more quieter region that we've got here in Null-sec. And in this video I wanted to do a bit of ranting, and at the same time I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about what I've been doing in high-sec. I'll show you more about the stuff that I've got coming up when I get my jump clone ready. But what happened was there's a guy called Tanku Demolisher, really nice guy. He donated 2 billion to me after he saw the video of me losing my paladin quite a while back. So I got a nice cash injection right there. And then also I traded a bunch of the LP that I had. So I was able to get a couple of billion extra. So I've got now 2.5 billion ISK. However, I've also bought some ships to be able to run burner missions and L4 missions again. So we're going to go back to doing L4 missions really in a very efficient manner very soon. The way I've set up is that we've got the Nurgle, and then I'm working on getting even more ships. But Nurgle, Enyo, and then also the Paladin in our missioning system. So we'll be having that as something we're going to be doing more. It was a while since I did L4 missions. I think L4 missions is a good way to earn ISK in high-sec in a very chill manner. I'm also thinking of moving to a different region of high-sec to do L4 missions that is a little bit closer to the trade hub. The thing is, currently I do L4 missions in the system of Heora. That's why I've always been doing it, and it's because that system is a 0.5 system. 0.5 systems have very good income. The lower the security status, the higher the income you get from the missions are. But it is also because I've got very good Gallente and Minmatar standings. So in that system in particular, there is a Gallente agent there that is able to provide these missions. The problem with that system though is that Heora is very many jumps away from Jeet. It takes about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes to be able to make your way there. So that's a long time if you want to move there. I have installed a jump clone, so it will be a bit easier to move there. And it's also closer to the Dixie. So the Dixie is pretty close, I think 6-7 jumps away. So not like 15 plus jumps like it is to Jita. But one thing I was thinking is that it could perhaps be an idea to maybe do it in an Amarian mission hub that is close to the Amar region. Alternatively, it could be an idea to do missions for the Caldari agents that are very close to Jita, because I like Jita a lot for their good prices. The only issue I have with doing missions for the agents that are close to Jita is that I realize that their LP is really low. They've got very low LP ratios. So when you look at the corporation that I currently do missions for, the Scope is a Gallente faction. The LP ratios of their LP rewards, they're really good, or quote unquote good. I mean, I'm sure there are better ones, but I think it's pretty good. 1,100 ISK per LP for instant buy orders. So I think that's pretty good. However, when you look at the Caldari agent that I could find close to Jita, the closest one was very few jumps away, like 4 jumps away. I thought, oh, that's really convenient. 0.5 system that is only a few jumps away from Jita. That must be really good, right? But the problem is the LP to ISK ratio was really bad. It was only 700 ISK per LP. So we're talking about like almost half, maybe not half, but like 30-40% less ISK per LP there. So that is going to make everything so much less profitable. So I'm contemplating a bit if it's worth to make the whole grind to change the faction standing to do it in like to a Caldari agent and that is closer, or I just keep doing what I'm currently doing. Because the thing is, the current agent that I do with Gallente is getting very good ISK with the 0.5 system, and it works really well. I could maybe say a few jumps, but get a bit closer, but that's going to take a ton of work, because changing your faction standings when they're already negative something, you can see here, if we go in interactions, Caldari state -2, so I can't even do the L1 mission, so I'm going to have to do some extreme measures to be able to do even their L1 missions. You can see here, when you're below -2, you can't even do the L1 missions. So I'm going to have to do maybe some career agents, or maybe hand in some of these clone tags which you can get from these special agents like Cosmos missions, I believe they're called. So that is something I could do, and it'll require a ton of mission grinding there. So it'll be a big journey if I were to switch to Caldari. But then if it actually is worth it or not, I'm a little bit hesitant. I'm not really sure about that, because the thing with the income being so different, you get so much less by different Caldari, makes me think that maybe it could be good to stick to Galente. And I think the reason that the ISKBA LP is so low when it comes to these Caldari corps is that there is probably a ton of people who are selling stuff that is to Jita, that are doing these missions that are very close to Jita. So maybe it could be. Maybe I should take a little bit deeper look at their market. Perhaps if this is, this ISKBA LP ratio that I was talking to you guys about, the 700 ISKBA LP. This was because I selected Jita as the place to sell stuff. So maybe if I were to switch that to say Amar or some other place, perhaps then the ISKBA LP ratio will be better, because then the items will be sold there for a higher price. Because, I mean, if you're selling Caldari LP store items in Jita, that's like really close, easy to get those items. So I can imagine they're really overflowed with tons of items. So that could also be something I could consider. I could consider to switch that there. But we could also look for some other agents. Maybe there's something that's a little bit closer to Jita as well, or even close to Amar perhaps. As if I would potentially want to set up close to there, because I mean Amar is the second biggest trade hub in EVE Online, so it's not completely wrong to base out of there. However, I did notice when I was living there for a few months in 2024, I did notice that it was a bit annoying seeing how everything is a bit more expensive. I would have rather just lived in close to Jita and being able to pay cheaper for everything else. So I think from a financial standpoint, it makes much more sense to live in Jita. And then maybe perhaps I could use jump clones to switch to Heora system, the one with the Galente agent, if I want to do that for missions. Because jump clones are very handy. I use them a lot more nowadays than I used to do. And I've also got this skill trained which allows me to install tons of jump clones. There was one that was released relatively recently. There was this special one, advanced, I believe it's this advanced infomorph psychology. So I'm able to use lots and lots of clones. So we're doing the ratting here then, just to get some little side ISK while I'm in Null-sec. Right now, I was thinking of maybe doing some alpha missions, but I decided against that because my character right now, he's recently been in Null-sec and he has been fighting the rogue corporations against the Brave Collective. So my jump clone was on a refresh period, so I couldn't jump clone back to Jita. So this ratting we're doing right now is a very profitable version of getting ISK here in Null-sec. However, if I should have done it in this system or not, I'm not sure, because the bounty risk modifier is only 134%, so we're getting much less ISK by doing this. The thing is, there's a system in K70 that is definitely something I could have done. However, there is a hostile in there, so I'm not sure. But if it makes a difference, I don't know if he's a cloaky camp, but he could be just someone just sitting in a cloaked ship, and in that case, it doesn't really mean anything. So not really certain how significant it is, but I don't want to take unnecessary risks now. I just want to have a little bit of a chill time. Maybe later, if we're going to be grinding hard, then we can go to the system of K7D, because there it's almost 200% bounty risk modifier. I really like to use the stealth bombers in these bounty risk modifier systems. And I'm thinking of maybe there could be ways which we can improve our fits here, because right now our fit is made to just maximum damage, got an afterburner that goes pretty fast. Maybe we could somehow make it have more range, because then it'll be less likely that people will catch us, because I have been caught. Now, my reactions weren't tip-top, but it was still really fast, because there was a guy who warped in when I was doing one of these sites, and he had a warp disruptor, so he had a really long range on his warp disruptor, so he was able to just grab me straight away. So if I were to have a long range variant of this fit that's really far away, I could orbit very far, and it would be very difficult for them to be able to catch me. So it could be an idea, actually. Can we orbit here? Set the orbit range to, where's the 50 kilometers maybe? That'll be good. And we should switch over to the Rage as well. Actually, Rage is much better. We will take a bit of damage, yeah. because they like to apply really well when they're making the good angles on them. We can orbit this slightly further away. The thing I really don't like in these havens is that you can sometimes have issues with you colliding into these structures around. The structures look great, and I guess it's good that you sort of have to manually pile a bit more. You have to be a bit more awake, but it does get a bit annoying sometimes. See if there's something you can orbit current, something like that would be good. So we just orbit that wreck. That should be all right. We probably won't be able to. We won't collide in anything there. That should be good. I don't like how the orbit goes down, because then it's going to take me up into this this rock here. I would like to go like perfectly around like that. If there was a way to adjust the orbit angle, that would be good. Perhaps I could orbit this. I could orbit this one instead. It's a bit further up. There we go. So then we won't go into that rock there as easily. But that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. So we're working on filling up an L4 mission hub in EVE Online. I've been considering to switch faction size, but not 100% sure if I will because of the repercussions it has on the income. And also a really big thanks to Tanku Demolisher for the donation. I appreciate it a lot. Very nice of him to do that. A lot of people get angry at me when I lose these ships in these videos. But it's nice to see there are nice people out there as well. Okay, I think our orbit is good now. Don't think we're going to collide into that rock. There are these scrubs right here. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's enough for now. Now I'm just going to continue swirling around this site here. Maybe later I'll go into K7D. If you did enjoy the video, learn something new, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.